Well, well. Can't say I'm not shocked at the fact that there are people out there that are saying that the mechs are super terrible and they're so bad and they absolutely suck. They don't. The mechs, for the most part, fit a niche. And the niche that they simply fit into is that they are support weapons. The mechs are not designed in any way, shape, or form to take punishment. They're not designed for you to be standing in the middle of the bug hordes. They're not designed for you to be running into chargers, trying to shadow box them at close range. They're designed to be mid-range utility items where you sit back around, I'd say, 5 to 10 feet between you and the enemy, and you just mow the enemy down. And you just absolutely slaughter anything that's coming out of the bug hole as it's spawning. For the most part, a lot of the people that are complaining about mechs right now, they're playing them wrong. Like, for instance, earlier today, off stream, playing with randoms, we spawn in, and the second we spawn in, the guy calls in a mech. You don't need the mech. The mech's not a supply pack. It's not a railgun. It's not a cluster bomb or stratagem that you need to call in instantaneously. For the most part, the way the mech is supposed to be used, it's supposed to be used to clear an objective, to capture an objective, or hold an objective down. Are you in a situation where you need 20 civilians to evacuate? You can call in one mech. That mech can mop up any of the smaller ads pushing up, but also mop up any of the bigger ads trying to push in as well. Do you need to capture an area and turn on the generator? You call in your mech, you clear out the area, you wipe out anything that's pushing up. Maybe you and your team is about to extract, and there's a lot of things heading towards you. All four of you can call in your mech in that situation and hold down that extraction point way easier than we've ever been able to before. I have seen teams of four people being highly coordinated and highly motivated and knowing how to stay out of each other's line of fire, holding down against multiple chargers, multiple bio titans, hundreds of ads running at you at Mach 6. I've seen people able to solo a whole lot better by pushing large outposts for bugs or for automatons, hauling in your mech and being able to clear out that area. If you want a tip, I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give you the three biggest pieces of advice that I feel as though a lot of people haven't been giving others in regards to using mechs. Number one, calling in your mech counts as both you getting your stratagem, but also it counts as like a mini airstrike. The reason as to why is that the thing that drops off the mech is the dropship. And when the dropship comes in, it starts instantaneously blasting whatever the largest target is, which means that when the dropship drops in, it fucks up the charger, it fucks up the Bile Titan, it goes after anything big that is a major threat, so that by the time you hop into your mech, most of the forces have been softened up by that dropship coming in. And the dropship's not there long. It only comes in for around 3 seconds, but it starts blasting the second it's in range. So sometimes it is optimal to position the dropship in a certain type of way that when it comes in, it's facing the enemies that you want it to blast to do optimal damage to them before it takes off into the sky. Number two, you need to have map awareness. And I'm not talking about, pulling up a map and actually looking at it. I mean, you need to stop having tunnel vision, which is only focusing on the enemies that are directly in front of you. It is not that difficult, and it's actually super easy to do a quick 360 with the mech to see what's around you and get back to fighting something that's directly in front of you. That quick 360 can stop a stalker from getting up behind you and hitting you. It can stop any of the hunters from jumping behind you and start slashing at your back. Maybe you didn't see an enemy that snuck up behind you, and if it hits you, it's going to automatically destroy your mech. Do a quick head check. Do a quick swivel. Look to the left, look to the right, look behind you. Make sure that there's nothing behind you. That way, you can sustain your mech for as long as possible. And the last tip for using the mech that I'm going to give you is to play zone control. And what I mean by that is you want to maintain 5 to 10 feet between both you and the enemy at all times. You do not need to be surrounded by 30 things, not need to be right in front of the charger. You can sit back a good 5 feet, and then if they're moving towards you, slowly start moving backwards. And like I said, you're doing what you did before. Do a quick swivel to see if anything's behind you. Once you know that that whole real estate behind you is clear, you can just keep on backing up. And they're going to keep on rushing towards you, and they're going to keep on getting mowed down, and you'll be able to hold them down. You'll be able to completely clear bug breaches by yourself with no issue whatsoever. None. No issue whatsoever. You don't have to worry about the bugs just completely overrunning your position. You don't have to worry about calling an airstrike and maybe whiffing. Nope. You sit back about 10, 15 feet, and as they spawn, you just gun them down, you mow them down, and then once it's all clear, you call it a day. Those are the only three things that you need in regards to the mech. Be aware when you're calling it in that the drop ship does indeed do a lot of damage to things that are in front of it. Have some level of map awareness where you're always aware of what is behind you. That way you do not get flanked, because if something flanks behind you and starts hitting you, you're dead. And then the third one is always trying to maintain some level of distance between both you and the mech that is well, not the mech, the enemies that are essentially pushing up on you. You maintain those three things, you're golden. You'll never run into an issue with the mech. Are you running up on an outpost of bugs by yourself? You make sure that you're standing right in front of the nest, you call it in, dropship comes in, softens the enemies, you hop into the mech, you mop it up, you use the mech's rockets to close the holes, or hell, you can even hop out of the mech and run around and shut the holes, because for the most part, the bugs don't focus on the mech if you're not in it. I hope this helps. I hope this helps. I hope it cuts through a lot of like the noise that we've been seeing for the last few days of people making rage videos about how bad the mechs are. The mechs aren't bad. Your decision making is horrible. And your horrible decision making is just making it so that you're not having fun with this new toy that they've essentially given you. And you don't have to worry, because chances are they're going to give us more toys for us to play with in the future. I really can't wait to get the mech that has the flamethrower, and I really can't wait to get the mech that has the double autocannons. I feel as though once we get that mech in our hands, that's going to be the true game changer, where you just have that one person who calls that in when there are multiple different heavies on the field. And then right now we're going through a period where there are more difficult enemies spawning than there should, which means that the sense of, oh my god, the mechs are super underpowered that you're dealing with right now may not be a thing that you're going to have to deal with in a few weeks when all of this essentially gets patched. But I hope this helps. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button and that subscribe button. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying the Mechs? I'm fucking loving them. I love every single second of them. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.